first things first. Cold coffee. As a drunk journaler, you probably ask yourself regularly, what the heck am I doing? But this is a special thing, I guess. And I mean, we all know junk journal challenges, don't we? We know challenges like, for example, the 5-item swap, or the Rustic 7 challenge. That's not so well known, but it's really popular, I would say, and really fun. We also know some kind of prompt-based challenges, like, for example, Defamorember, or Junk Journal July, Junk Journal January. But this challenge seems to be something special, and it seems to be a challenge against myself somehow. I don't know how I shall put all of this, what I have here, to my table so that you can see it. But hi, this is Luisa Heinzel, and this feels like the dusty 452 item swap with myself. So what you can see here are not only some really strange things, obviously, but these are things I collected during the past 3 weeks approximately. And these are things I want to use to make a junk journal. Yes, you have heard right. There are some things which are more obvious to use in a junk journal, like this packaging here, for example. Oh, this little guy. But there are also some unusual and really weird things. Like these here, for example. So what is this and what happened? As you perhaps know from my last video, I am in the middle of a move. I want to move from Austria, where I'm here at the moment, at the campsite in my caravan, back to Germany, where I was born. Not to the city where I was born, but back to Germany. And yeah, I had a plan with the renovation of my new apartment, but that plan went a little bit wrong time-wise. So what you can see today and in my upcoming videos is something that has never been on my channel before. That is something special, not only material-wise, I would say, but also it's something special because I want to document my move and I want to document my renovation of the new apartment. And I thought I want to take you with me and show you my process of doing that, or trying to do that. It's better say it like that. And I want to encourage you to choose some unusual things for making your junk journals. And I want to prove that junk journaling is possible with whatever you find and whatever you have, and that you can do junk journaling wherever you are. No matter if you have a craft room with, you know, organized supplies and whatever that might be, organized tools and everything, and tools at all, but also in unusual places and with unusual things. So in this video, I want to show you what I have collected. These are things that I found in the apartment. You can see there are things that are really, really, really old vintage pieces, original vintage pieces, like this, for example. And there are also some newer things like this, what you've seen a second ago. I want to tell you where I found this, why I have taken it, and some ideas what I could imagine what to do with these strange things in a journal. And in my upcoming videos, I want to try to make a journal out of this junk here. And I thought perhaps you can find some unusual things at home as well. Please don't destroy your apartment, yeah? Just think about things that would go into the trash can, or perhaps you can find something in the trash can. I'm trying to organize this here a little bit so that this whole thing is not too confusing. And this shall also be like an inspirational video, you know, where to find things and go through the world with open eyes for things like this. I'm sure we can make something out of this, even if this is really, really weird at the moment. So I will put some of these things aside, and I have more here around my plate. You can see or guess I am still in my craft room here in Austria in my caravan. You know, I live in a I have lived in a caravan and a little tiny house which is attached to the caravan. But the most of my craft supplies are already packed into boxes because the plan was I wanted to travel to the new apartment by train and then do the renovation, come back, take my boxes and move in to the new apartment. But that didn't happen because of some catastrophes that I couldn't see coming. The most of the catastrophes had to do with electricity and the fact that the whole electricity in the whole apartment had to be renewed. Is that a word? So they had to take everything out and put everything in, and that made a really, really big time problem for my life and for the move. But I am Luise Heinzel. I am a junk journaler. I will not give up, and I want to make the best out of this situation. And I want to take you with me on this journey about making a journal from like real junk with the easiest mediums and tools. And perhaps the word easy is not the right one. I thought about mediums and tools that are available. And that can be something different for you than it is for me. I tell you what I mean. When I was searching for these things, I had them all in my suitcase, and I have taken them back from my apartment and the town where the apartment is, here to the campsite. And when I put everything to my table, my view went over the free space on my table to see where I could put some more things so that I can get this nearly organized on my table. And then my view came to this machine. You know, it's Akkuschrauber. It's like a screwdriver. I don't know the English word for this. You know, I have used this in my room here to take some shelves off from the wall, and I thought, I mean, you have seen me using a hammer, yeah, and distressing my journals with a hammer, but can we please think about doing something with this to our journals? Has anyone done this before? I don't know, but that is what I mean by using tools, yeah, like easy tools. This tool is easy for me to use because I have it at hand. And that's what I mean by, you know, easy tools. So let's see what we can come up with. So what is going to happen? I will make a little series, and this is the first video of this series where I show you how I try to turn the things on my desk into a journal that documents, on the one hand, my move and this time, and this, yeah, to be honest, really difficult time for me at the moment. And on the other hand, it shall show you that you can do junk journaling everywhere and with anything that you have. Yeah, so that is the plan. So let's talk about what I have here on my desk and what you could find as well in your home, or perhaps you are in this situation of a move as well at the moment. Then this would be perfect for you, perhaps, because these are all things you could find during a renovation. Most obvious thing is wallpaper. This comes from one of the walls in my new apartment. I don't know, it could have been the living room of the people who have lived there before, but I don't know. Of course, the apartment was empty. This is a really, relatively new, modern wallpaper, I would say. It has this like foam fluff stuff on it. I don't know how that is called in English. In German it's Fließtapete. I don't know the English word for that. It's like, yeah, you know, really cool colors. So I saved some of the pieces because I thought I could perhaps make some pages for my journal out of this material. It's obviously really strong because this wallpaper is relatively new. Speaking about wallpaper, so let me quickly take this little box here where I can put the things I've already shown you. I've already recorded this thing in German, and now, also, that is German. I mean, for my German video, and because of that, everything is laying a little mixed up here. So I try to do this really, like, you know, organized, because I want to show you first the paper materials I have found. Because, you know, junk journaling, paper, do you know what I mean? That is, paper is the first thing we think about when we want to make a junk journal. So what I also found is this wallpaper here. I have several pieces of that. And this is really, really old. And to be honest, it was nerve-wracking to get this off from the wall. This was behind the mirror in the bathroom. I mean, the mirror is not there anymore. But when the people who lived there before they moved out have taken off the mirror, this became visible, and I spritzed this with some water to get it off from the wall, and I have even filmed this for you, so you will see the video footage in a second. But I want to mention something, because the video footage looks a little weird and the editing of the video footage is a little weird, and that's because I have filmed it, and then someone, one person who has helped us with the renovation, came into the bathroom, and later on when I told him that I want to publish the video footage on YouTube, he said that he doesn't want that. So that means I'm talking to someone in this video footage, and you can't see that person because I've cut those portions out so that he is not in the video, because, you know, I didn't get his permission, and that is of course okay, but I just wanted to mention that so that you don't think has she lost her video editing skills or what has happened. So you will see this video footage now. Welcome to episode 1 of how to save this wallpaper. This is already wet. I want to take this off from the wall so that I later on can use this, because look, this is very vintage and very beautiful. But the first thing is we need some protection. You can never know what a wallpaper can do to you, so safety first, very important. And then it's very important to have the right tools, of course. I've decided for this high professional thing here, don't know, what is this in English? Spatula? I don't know. And after I have soaked this with water, I will now try my best to get that off. Oh no! Okay, this is definitely not enough water. Okay. Herr Wasserspritzemeister, könnten Sie bitte mal kommen? Also du musst auch ein bisschen an meine Aufrufe denken, ne?
Ja, das denke ich schon dran. Ja.
Je mehr Action du hier machst.
Ich unterstütze gerne Selbstständige.
This would be really nice collage fodder. If anyone needs a collage fodder, yeah, I have a ton of this. Ja. Das ist shitty. Das ist richtig shitty. Holy cow. Come off. Okay. It works. Okay. I think I'm splitting the layers, but that is perhaps not so bad. It feels really sturdy. Oh no. Well, this hole is art. Here we go. Just a little hole. That's art. I would say this was successful. And I was so proud because I have taken a little bendable tripod to put my phone to the handle of the window to be able to film in the bathroom, because, you know, it was like a construction site, yeah, and I had no possibility to put my phone without the danger of ruining my phone and break it. And I was so proud that I could film that. So I wanted to show you that because, you know, I did it for you, yeah, and I filmed that for you, of course. So I hope that was okay, that the editing was a little weird. This is really old, obviously. And I thought perhaps I can put this to my scanner and make some kind of a digital paper out of this, so that I can perhaps also have more than this, and that I'm able, I mean, more sheets than I have here. And the main reason for this idea to make a copy or scan it is that I can fold it better, because this is really fragile. And it already has some holes in here, as you can see, and I am pretty sure if I try to fold this, then it will break. So perhaps that is an idea for you as well. If you find something really old, make a copy or scan it and then print it. I know that it's not the same like you would have the original piece, but better having a scan or a copy than having nothing of this material in the journal, yeah. And I also thought about making some digital paper for you out of the materials that I have here. I will come to some more ideas later in the video. I found some other really cool things where I thought I can share those with you. So I will put this aside really carefully to my other table here, so that it can't break. And then I found this little paper here. So this is obviously, yeah, also paper. It is originally, I think, from a calendar. Don't know from which year this was, but this is a little note. And this is obviously German. And I have no idea. Can I translate? I would like to translate this, but I can't. I have to take my other phone. So here are some things which are really like normal. This here, Hautarzt, means, in German it's nearly the same, Dermatologe, dermatologist. Holy cow. Dermatologist. Yeah, dermatologist. I hope that you understand what I mean. This says car window, Regenrinne, rain, this thing where the rain goes in, gutter. Is that a word? Gutter. Yeah, where the rain, when the rain comes to the roof and then it runs down in this little thing and then it goes to the ground. Do you know what I mean? And this means boiler warten. Yeah, boiler. That seems to be English as well. This thing which makes water hot has to be controlled somehow. The same with the oven. So what is here on the top says that they had to see if the oven works well. But this is just the funniest thing in the world. I mean, the other things are like normal notes, yeah, but this says Eierstöcke Abo beenden, and that means ovaries. Ovaries is hopefully the right word. You know, what you have in your body, on the bottom of your body when you are a woman. And it's, yeah, if I would translate it one by one, it would say to cancel the subscription for the ovaries. I don't know if that is funny in English as well, but if I think about my surgery I had a while ago, I always say the name Gisela. Do you know the name Gisela? It's a German name for a woman. And when I had my surgery, I said Gisela moved out. So she was removed from my body. I think you know what I mean. So Gisela is, or she was my Gebärmutter. This thing here, yeah. I called her Gisela because she was a really bitchy thing and she made pain to my body. And because of that she's a bitch, she was a bitch because she has gone now. I called her Gisela, and when I was in the hospital, and the doctor came to me and said, why are you so happy? Then I said, yeah, because Gisela is going to go and I will be happy when I leave the hospital. So do this surgery and then just leave me alone. So I was really happy that that could be done because I had so much pain. And when I read this, I mean, this surgery is not so long ago, yeah? And when I read this, I was like, what the heck? Why is this here? I mean, this year I still have that in my body, yeah, but why shall I cancel the subscription for that? I have no idea. Okay, so perhaps that means something totally different, but that was so funny. What else could I find? So paper-wise, I have this card here. This is obviously something which is somehow new. I think the people who lived in the apartment before they moved out, they have forgotten this somehow. I found this really cute, so I thought we can use that somehow. Then we got some strange, like, spam mail or so. Oh my goodness. Be prepared for some really strange words in this video, because here are things on my desk where I have absolutely no idea how the English words are, and that are words I normally never use. So I hope that I can explain what this is. So this is something where you could win something, but it was like a spam, but in the mail. And I thought, why don't we take this and turn this into a journaling card, a ticket, or something else? I mean, you know, it's already somehow like a ticket. So what I'm trying to say is you could choose or search for some newer materials as well, and even like junk mail could be used in a journal like this, what I'm trying to do here. So then I saved this here from the trash can. Look, here it says, I was so happy when I have taken this, and I have already recorded my German video. And of course, in German, it's way, way easier for me to explain where this comes from. And then I saw that it's written in English here as well, and I was so happy. So this is from a packaging, and this says flooring elements quality control. So this is from some plates that we had to put as one of the layers to the new floor. I will talk about the floor in a second a little more, because we had to remove everything and it was such a mess you can't imagine. It was just a catastrophe. But I thought this is cool because junk journal page, oh, even with some glue on here, that is, ugh, what is this? I think this is some kind of hot glue. I think we don't need that. But what catched my attention was that here are these big numbers. I thought perhaps we can do something with these as well. And I also like to use these like barcode things in my junk journals. So I thought I don't throw this into the trash can, but I save it. The same with this little thing. This comes from a special net. It was also part of the packaging. The net, I have a piece of the net. It looks like this. So this is only one row of some squares. You know, you can imagine that this is a whole net with a ton of these little squares. It's like a plastic material. And if you have like holes in the walls and you want to build a new wall, then you can put this in there, and you know, you have this like Spachtelmasse, like clay thing. It's not clay, I know. Spachtelmasse. That can't be the word. Putty. Oh, yes. Wickelgamasche, Gamasche. No, that is not the right word. Like, yeah, like filler. Can that be a word? So that you can build a new wall, and if you have holes, you have to put some kind of a net or something in there so that the wall can't be destroyed later and that it doesn't fall apart. And I thought it could be nice to have this as a little decoration. I mean, the color is also really nice, and it fits to the color of the wallpaper I've just shown you. And from that net, I have this little paper from the packaging. Then we ordered some pizza. I mean, you have to eat something on a construction site, and what do? You order pizza. And this is obviously the receipt of the pizzeria. So I have folded it because here there's the address, and I don't want to show that yet. Here you can see we have been really hungry. I mean, you can see 2 tiramisu and 1 party pizza. That means you can see how many people we have been. 1 party pizza for 2 people. But it also, it was there for, I think, approximately 3 days, and we had, you know, little pieces every day of these 3 days. And I find this really funny because they even have put this note that we have put into this little box. You know, when you order a pizza online, then you can put a little note into this little box for, you know, the pizza man, and he knows what to do or what not to do. In this case, what not to do, because here it says bitte nicht schneiden, so please don't cut the pizza, not this paper. If you want to use something like this for your junk journals, I can recommend to either make a copy or to make a photo of this, because with time or heat, depending on the paper, it can happen that the paper gets totally white because this black writing is going to disappear. Or with heat, it can happen that the paper turns black. If this is like, you know, thermal paper, then it can happen that it turns black and then you can't read anything anymore. This is the original receipt, but I will make a copy and then use the copy in my journal to be sure that I have these informations in the future as well, and that they don't disappear. I also have paper-wise, what can I show you here? My ticket for the train, and I have saved this because it has this cool number here. So I obviously printed this at home. It's an online ticket, but when I was in the train, the person who controlled the ticket, Schaffner, don't know the English word, has made this little thing here, and I thought this is really nice because, you know, yeah, numbers, cut it out, little label, and it's a nice memory. So then, let's see, what else do we have? If you want to make a journal from unusual things and you jump into your trash can, you can, of course, also use some envelopes. I don't want to show you the town yet, because there's something special about that town. And here, below my finger, there's the name of the town, but I don't want to show you that yet. So this is just from, what was this? I think that was where these little tickets, these little tombola tickets were in. But that doesn't matter. You can, well, sorry, you can use any kind of junk mail you might find. And by the way, I was really surprised. Today in a local store here, it's called Lidl, I found this caramel macchiato by Starbucks. I mean, perhaps that is funny for you or something, or you can't understand that, because here in my area there is no Starbucks, and I always hear about Starbucks, and that is so good. And of course, perhaps, you know, where you come from, there is a Starbucks. I don't have one here. And I think I was, one time in my life, I was in Starbucks. Can't tell that story, otherwise the video would get too long. But that was really embarrassing, and it was the only time I was there. But, you know, yeah, I can't tell this here. But what I was trying to say, this is really delicious. So then I have this paper. This is not from the new apartment, but it is from my craft room here. I have taken this to wrap a birthday present into this, and then I have taken it, you know, in my suitcase to the new apartment, because my landlord had his birthday during the time where I was there for the renovation. So I thought, when I look at the other materials I have here on my desk for making the journal, there is not so much material where I can make pages from. So I thought I use this because it has been in the new apartment. It has some meaning to me somehow, even if it is only a wrapping paper, and it has, yeah, you know, it has gotten the meaning because of the present which was in here. Yeah, so but I thought these are great pages, or a great material to make pages. So what else do we have? We have some more wallpaper that looks really weird, and I have to do something with that because, as you can see on these pieces, there is still a bit of the wall. As I told you, we had some massive problems with the electricity in the apartment, and there had to come some people to make some holes through the walls from the very top of the house to the Keller. Oh, I knew that word. Basement. Cellar. Basement? Whatever. Through the whole house. And we had to remove a really old wardrobe which has been in the apartment of my landlord. He is, you know, let me quickly explain that, otherwise you can't understand anything. So there are 3 apartments in this house. There's one apartment on the first floor, then the apartment of my landlord in the second floor, and I have my apartment in the third floor. And they had to make a hole through the whole building from my apartment to the first floor and even into the basement. And with that, we had to remove the wardrobe in the apartment of my landlord. And behind the wardrobe, there was this gorgeous wallpaper. And, you know, when there are people who are working there, you can't say, stop your work, I need the whole piece of wallpaper there, because there was a whole piece on the whole wall, but it was not possible for me to get everything. But I made a photo of the whole thing, and I got these little pieces here. And I want to try to remove this here, because this is part of the wall, so that I can use these pieces in my journal, because this is obviously way too fat and way too bulky. But I'm planning to digitalize these things, and I also have the photos, so perhaps I can make some digital paper out of that and then use the digital paper, because I can't, you know, I can't remove the rest of the wallpaper from that wall. Otherwise, there would be a really big hole in the wall of the apartment of my landlord, and there is already a really big hole because of the new electricity, and I think I can't do that. So what else do we have? We have some more paper materials. So this is something really hard to explain. It feels like a wax paper, so this gray stuff is some dust, obviously, but when I remove this, you can see it's a little glossy. And this also came from a part of the walls. When you build a house, you have these like things from wood, I mean, shaped like something like this, do you know? Wood, stone, then the next wood here, and that is then the wall. Do you know what I mean? And to protect the wood from the liquid of this stuff that is on the wall, they have taken this, obviously, I guess. And I think that's why this is feeling like wax paper. But even if I can't explain it, it's a great paper. And even if I don't know exactly for what they used it or why it was in the wall, it's a really great paper, of course, that we can use for something. Then let's talk about these things. We had to, and I tried to give you some photo footage here, so that you can imagine what happened or what the situation was. We had to remove the whole floor from the whole apartment. And this floor was built from several different layers with different materials. We wanted to do that because the noises in the house are really extremely because of the insulation, which is not very good. Hopefully this is the right word. So when you talk on the second floor, for example, you can hear it in the third floor and in the first floor. And we wanted to avoid that can happen in the future as well. So we took everything out. So that means we had one layer of a really strange plastic material like PVC thing. below that, there was a really, really massive and hard layer, I guess, built from some wooden pieces like Sägespäne. Sägespäne, I know this word in English. I think Tim said it in his first interview I have seen. Sawdust, yeah, I know this word. Oh, Luise, sawdust. Tim told about a story with sawdust. Holy moly, that is not so difficult. Sawdust mixed with some glue, and then they have put it all over the floor, and then it got hard. And you can imagine how hard it was to remove that shit. Sorry for that word, but it was really, really... Oh. Time-consuming, nerve-wracking, and everything. My body has had pain in some muscles where I even didn't know that I have those muscles. So after we had removed that, there were some wooden pieces, and after we have removed those, there was something like dirt, something like peat. Really dry, but dusty, and it was everywhere, and it was so much, and we had to remove that. It was nearly like, you know, I said if I would have some flower seeds or something, or tomatoes or something like that, little plants, I could grow them there, and I would have a really nice apartment with, like, you know, like a greenhouse or something. But of course that had to go. But I really felt like in a greenhouse where someone would come and plant some plants or put some seeds into the ground because everywhere there was this stuff. And in between of that stuff, I found these things. So on the one hand, we have these cool vintage labels here. I don't really know from what kind of material this was, but it looks really, really interesting in my eyes. This is obviously the brand of the stuff which was packed and then labeled with this. This says size 151, color number 1, and this, I guess, is the short form of quality, somehow like a quality control, perhaps, I don't know. I found several of these, also some fragments of this kind of thing, so they are all the same, so that must be something that they have used and where they needed like more than one pack of this. So we have that, and I also found this, and even if this is German, I have no idea what this is, and I can not translate this so well because this is Muli Prädikat. Muli is obviously this little animal here, and this says Sunny Flausch, Sunny Fluff, reichlich kaufen, Sonderangebot. It's a special offer, and this says that you shall buy a lot of that because it's a special offer. It's easy to pflegeleicht, easy care, and yeah, it holds its shape. I don't know from what this is, and I didn't have the time yet to Google this. I'm sure if I would put this into Google, I would find it, but perhaps I can tell you some more information about this in a future video. And in this like filling, like this dirt stuff, there also was this kind of wood stuff. First I thought I could use it somehow like a washi tape or so just glue it down or sew through it, but then I realized that it is, oh, this is flexible. Some other of these pieces, yeah, it breaks really, really easily, and I'm not so sure how I could use this. Perhaps I can make it wet somehow so that it then flattens, and I can then perhaps glue it down. Or what I also could do, and that is obviously something you could do with these kind of strange materials as well, I could put it to my scanner or make a photo of it and then use the photo or the print, which I can get from the scan. And again, like with the wallpaper, I know that a scan or a copy of something like this is not the original piece, yeah? If I would scan it and then this would turn into dust somehow because of, you know, I touch it or so, and it is not usable anymore, then that would be not so bad, because I still have the scan or I still have the photo, even if I don't have the original. But better to have the scan or the photo than nothing. Yeah, so that is my way of thinking about these kind of things. So let's put that aside. So what else do we have? I have some really old newspapers. This one is from Monday, July 31st, 1939. Think about that for a while. How long was this in this apartment? And look at the condition. I mean, it's crumbled, yes, but it's still intact. I don't know yet how to flatten this, or if it is necessary to flatten it, or if I already thought about some kind of kintsugi technique to glue these things into my journal, so that they can stay in this condition. Perhaps that is also yeah, that is hard to decide, because on the one hand, I would love to read what is written here, and I would love to find out more about the content of this, and especially the dates. I mean, here on this one, I can read it really clearly. There are other pieces where I would have to flatten this to be able to read the date, or to search for the date. But on the other hand, I think, is it really necessary to flatten this? Is it good to flatten this? Or does this have to go into the journal exactly like it is? What do you think about that? I mean, if I find something which is, you know, like bulky, like this here, for example, it would be probably really hard to glue this to a page without getting a really, really bulky journal. But what about using this on a junk journal cover, for example? Imagine I would seal this with something so that it holds the shape, and then I would glue this to my journal cover in exactly this shape that I have found it. Is that better than flatten it? What is more original? What is more emotional? What is more authentic? Do you know what I mean? If you make a journal from these kind of things that you have found somewhere. Think about that, please, and leave a comment what you think about this. I would be really interested, because, yeah, that is, I think, a hard decision somehow. So I don't know yet what is going to happen with this kind of stuff here. So let me put this out of the way without breaking it. Ooh, go away, please. Okay, so then I found something that I really couldn't believe. So there was a little tiny room in the apartment below some stairs. That little room was used for, you know, putting the trash can and the vacuum cleaner and so on. And it was really a tiny space I had to go into a little like triangle between the stairs and the floor to remove all of that old shit that was there. And I was sitting there, and then suddenly, and I'm so happy that I didn't hurt my head, suddenly I found this and I was screaming and I wanted to lift my body up, because, you know, I was like really crawling. I had to crawl under the stairs, and you can imagine how my body was, and there was no space in between of the stairs and my head. And when I saw this, I was like, oh my goodness, what the heck have I found here? And I wanted to stand up without realizing that the wood of the stairs is over my head. And I'm so happy that I didn't hurt myself, because this is an original ticket for something. And these damages you can see here, unfortunately, happened when I traveled back from the apartment, from Germany to Austria here. And I had this in my suitcase, and obviously, you know, it is a little bit fragile, and then this happened. When I found it, it was completely intact, and I was so shocked. Because here you can see, this says station, and this is the city, Ertingen. And here it says am So here you could write the date, and here you could write the year. And first I thought, and that is something that I found out while I recorded my German video a few minutes ago. First I thought you had to write with a pen the last number of the year here. So this obviously says 193, meaning 1930, and the last number you could put in here. And I thought they have taken a pen and write the number here. But when I look closer, and I found it out when I recorded the German video, as I said, I could see that here is a tiny, really, oh, and I can see, oh, oh, I have a déjà vu. I haven't seen this. Can you see the stamping here? Here's another stamping. I figured out that this is 1939. It must be. Here's a 3 and there's a 9, and it's really faded. Can you see that? But that was a stamp, obviously. And here it also says some numbers. I think 657 or 557 or something. But there was a stamp. Can you see that? So crazy. And here you can even read the name of the town. Can you see? Here. Can you read it? I want to make this a little surprising. So if you can't read it, the surprise is still intact. Because, you know, I can't do things without surprises for you. Yeah. So do we have more paper? Yeah, we have more paper. We have something that is really dirty. But there were people on the construction side who understood relatively fast, I was surprised, what junk journaling is and what I collect during the work on the construction site. And someone gave me this. This is obviously relatively dirty, but that doesn't matter, we can clean that. But it's from a really old packaging, obviously, and we have these cool letters there. And that is really nice, I would say. Then I thought, you know, while I was working there, you know, you are sweating and you are dirty, and in the evening you are really happy when you can take a shower, but after the shower you still feel somehow dirty. So I thought I go to Amazon and buy myself something. So I bought this perfume, you know, you make this and then it smells good and you put that to your body. What is the word? And if someone is searching for a really nice and yeah, really wonderful scent, this is something I can recommend. I haven't smelled this before buying it. I bought it on Amazon like blindly, but it is really, really good. And I thought this packaging is nice. We have this like glittery outer package here. Nice for some tags or tiny journaling cards. I even thought perhaps we can make some labels out of this material here with the writing. And there's this. Obviously the bottle was in here for protection, but you know, I think this is good. We could perhaps even remove this top layer and get some interesting texture for something. What I'm trying to say is, even if you can't find like those vintage things in your apartment or in your trash can, you can of course use also these kind of things, which are, you know, trash but new. Yeah, so that is of course also possible. Whew, okay, so I just had a little break to clean my fingers and pick something from my fridge that I don't want to forget. This is nothing I found in the apartment. That would be really strange. This is brand new. I bought this in the grocery store, but this is something that is special because we had this during the renovation, and I thought I want to have one of these packages here. I think I want to take some scissors to open this. The only pair of scissors I have left here, not packed into my boxes. So I just want to have this because, to be honest, this is really exhausting, I think is the word, to do this because there are so many words I don't know in English. So I need some sugar for my brain. If you don't know this, Try to find it somewhere. Really good. And when I finished this, I want to use the package. Oh, here's dirt everywhere. Let me put it there. To put it into the journal as well. And that was my reminder. So what else do we have paper-wise? These are two things. I was really shocked when I found them. Shocked in a positive way. These are packages. Oh, this is upside down, sorry. From some cigarettes. Obviously empty. But look how cool this is. I have no idea how old this is. Perhaps I can Google that and find that out. But look at this amazing packaging. Isn't this just great? Look at the details of this label. I was totally freaking out when I saw these. And they were also in this like dirt filling of the floor. The same with this. Really, really crazy. And by the way, if you if you find some things that are this old, please make sure that you don't have like mold on them. This is just some dirt. It's just something of this like brown filling. I have checked that. But please make sure that you don't have some like, you know, wet or moldy things in your journal. It seems that it has gotten wet here a little bit, but it has dried, and this filling below the floor was completely dry as well. So I made sure that there was no like liquid or water or something else, so that I can be sure that when I use this, nothing is going to happen to the rest of my journal. And it also doesn't smell bad or something. And I find this really interesting because look at this, this silver paper here. It's like somehow like, yeah, I think it's somehow embossed or so. You can see this little label here. And here it has a really nice writing as well. Heiter anregend im Genussformat. Please don't ask me to translate this. It's impossible for me. This is German, obviously. So these will somehow go into the journal as well. I told you that my landlord had his birthday during the time when I was there, and I bought something on Amazon for him, and that is a little like plastic duck for the bath. You know, these little like ducks. You know those? That is from this shop here on Amazon. And it is like a black duck. Oh, I have a photo. I put the photo into the video here. And I bought two of those, one for myself and one for my landlord. And this is, you know, it was around the neck of the duck. So, of course, you can use these kind of packages as labels from packages as well for a journal. Then we have this weird piece of like cardboard. This is from a packaging as well. And I saved especially this because, or this specific piece, because there was a little spot on the wall where I had to put some of this filler stuff, and the space between the window frame and the ceiling was just this small, and I couldn't come into this space with my spatula. So I thought I'd take a piece of this packaging, I just cut it, and I put some masking tape around here so that I was able to take the filler, and then put it to the wall like this. Even if my landlord was a little skeptic, I think that is the word, skeptic in German, that this could work, but then he saw that it worked, and that it worked relatively well, and because of that I saved this to remind myself about this situation. Then I have another piece from a packaging, and I have saved this because look, here's a little house. And I thought that is nice, like a little symbol for the new apartment. I think, and then I tried to do this like a little organized, so we are still in the paper section of the findings. This is, I put my finger here because here's the address. This is the label from one of the first packages I received in the new apartment. I ordered some things on Amazon, like some, skincare and this perfume thing that I have shown you and the ducks and so on. And obviously there was my new address on it and on those packages. And I wanted to save one of the labels to have one of the first labels that, from the packages that went to my new address. I think that is a really nice memory as well. And when I look at this, I think, oh no, this is perhaps some of this thermal paper as well. I think I have to make a copy of this to make sure that it can't bleed or fade or turn black with the time or heat. I need more of this because here are now more strange things where I really don't know the English words for those. But I try my best to, try to explain this. Speaking about packaging, I found these plastic things. These are like, they have been wrapped around something. I already tried to remember what they hold together, but I can't remember. But this is a good material for example, a closure for a journal. Or what I thought, we could also perhaps try to cut this into pieces and make little labels. Or with this, I have to stand up from my chair, I can't see what I have in my phone screen. Perhaps we can use this for stamping somehow. Look at this interesting texture. Perhaps we can also put a paper over that and then take a pen and go over this to get the pattern of this. So I have two of these. And then we had a drink. And I saved these bottle caps. And what next? I have this really strange kind of washi tape thing. Of course, this isn't a washi tape, but it's somehow a tape. This is the end of a roll of a squishy tape, which we needed for the floor as well. I can't really explain what that was. It was like a foam tape, and this is the end of the roll, so here is no foam anymore. It's a little fluffy, but I thought perhaps we can make some labels out of this as well, or stamp to that, or just use it as we would use washi tape. Then there was a really weird heater in the bathroom. And this is the rest of the heater. That was like a long machine which was hanging on the wall. And with this thing, you could turn it on and you could decide for several levels of heat. And this thing, it took me some nerves to take it out from this big thing. So there was a little window and you could, when it was turned off, see this 0. And when you have, if you pulled on this thing, this little window turned, or this round thing actually turned like this, so that the 1 was visible. Pull another time, then it turned around and it showed the level 2 and so on. So I thought this is really cool. This has this stuff here on the back, this piece. I don't know if I can perhaps remove this, perhaps with a little saw or so, because this is, medium bulky, but perhaps we can use this somehow as well, or we can scan it, of course, as well. And then we have some weird metal pieces. Don't ask me where this came from. I'm sorry, but I can't remember. There was a plastic thing around here, like a little longer piece, and I saw this and I wanted to have this, and because of that I removed the plastic, because I thought perhaps we can use this for stamping. That looks really interesting. First I thought I could even put this to the journal cover, like, let me take this journal, like so. But then I realized that that is not possible, because if I attach it here like so, then I can't open the journal anymore because this is stiff. Yeah, but I don't know how to use this yet. But for stamping, this would definitely work. Speaking about metal, I also have both of these pieces. This, I also don't know where this came from. It was suddenly there on the floor. I thought perhaps we can make a label for the cover of the journal out of this somehow. This came from the walls as well. When we removed the cables from the old electricity, which you can see here, or part of them. So, you know, these were in the wall. Then imagine that this was longer, like, you know, through the whole wall into the ceiling and so on. And then these were in there like so, and they came out from the wall like this to have the plugs, I think is the word, and these little guys where you can turn the light on and off. And when I removed these old things, this piece came out as well. If you find these kind of things, please make sure that you don't have any sharp areas. So it's not like that dangerous. Yeah, I wouldn't risk my life if I touched this, no blood here. But I definitely have to either bend this or sand this a little bit. So what I'm trying to say is, if you find these interesting things, make sure that you can't hurt yourself when you use them in your journal. These guys are really helpful as well, I think. Perhaps we can make some nice embellishments out of these. I have some really big screws. I already tried to remember where they came from, but I'm not totally sure. There was an old gas rohr. You know, this thing I've just shown you. What is the word for rohr? Pipe. Luise, it's easy. A gas pipe which is not used anymore. And I guess that these were in the wall to hold this pipe sturdy on the wall, but I'm not totally sure. These are really big, I know that. I mean, this is flat. We could use this as it is and sew it on or glue it on to a page or even the cover. With these screws, I'm not so sure because they are so heavy and so big, but I have saved them in case we want to stamp with this, or perhaps we can make some marks with paint or even like scratching over materials with this here. I think when you find things that are big and probably add bulk to your journal, you can use them anyway, even if you don't put the thing into the journal or on the cover or wherever. You can stamp with these things, you can make marks with these things. We could even use the rust here. You can see on my finger the rust comes off. We could produce some rust water with these things and then use the rust water in the journal, and then somehow these tiny guys, or actually big guys, would be part of the journal as well, even if we haven't used them in their original condition. Do you know what I mean? So then, speaking about rust, I was a really lucky girl because I have these nails here. They also have been in the walls. There were these like wooden stands have been, and that was a little bit funny because, you know, when you are on a construction site and you don't have time and you want to work and you want to get the things done, then it's sometimes hard to collect things because you have to think about that. You have to find a place where these findings are safe because the other people don't know that you want to use this junk later for a journal, yeah, and they think it's junk and they throw it into the trash can. And I found one, then I lost it because someone has thrown it away. Then I found two, I put them somewhere, and then I couldn't find them anymore. So it was this whole thing of finding them and losing them. And I thought, okay, what the heck? These nails don't want to go into my journal. And I had already given up on finding them and finding more. And then I was in front of the house where all of the trash was like, you know, in different containers. metal in one container, wood in one container, and so on. And then suddenly my view came to a little basket, and there were all of these nails. So someone has obviously removed all of these and then taken them all at once and throw them into this basket. And I was like, oh my goodness, nails, rusty nails. And I was taking them out, and I was really happy that there was no one watching me doing that, because that would have been a little bit embarrassing, because those people who helped us on the construction site, of course, they didn't get what I want to do with this. Yeah, but this is really great. Again, we can make some rust water and stain our pages, or we can put them to the cover. We can bend them perhaps a little bit so that they get a little, not like this, because this would be really hard to attach, I think. Yeah, but if they are more straight, like this, for example, it would be no problem to sew them to a journal cover or something like that, or even a page. So let me put these aside. And then let's talk about these little things. This was really strange. At first glance, it looks like a little bit of plastic, and it is a little bit of plastic. It comes from this little, no, it's not little. It's a box where all of the cables from the electricity come together. Stromkasten, don't know the English word. All of these guys come together in one of these boxes, and there's the whole electricity, the starting point of the whole electricity. Does that make sense? And they had to remove the old box and put a new box to the wall. And these little guys came out from the old box. And in the evening, I was sitting on the couch, not on my couch, but on the couch of my landlord. And we were talking about the things I found on the construction site. And then he said, oh, here, these little guys look really interesting. And I thought, yeah, we could perhaps use this for stamping, because look, this texture is really cool. So I thought, put some ink on here and stamp with this. And then I looked at this piece. And then suddenly there was like this light bulb moment. I will put a photo of the house where my apartment is here on the right side of the screen so that you can see what I see here. I can see the house here. Look, here's the garage. This little guy here, this little thing is the garage. You can see it on the photo as well. Or I think it's in the photo. Doesn't matter. This is the house. And now let's count the windows here. Can you see? This is the roof. And here's the bottom part of the house. But here the roof starts. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 windows here. Please count the windows in the photo. Can you see this little guy on the photo as well? If yes, you can imagine that I can paint a little door here and the other windows, which are on this part of the house. And then I have the house, in my journal. This is cute, isn't it? Hopefully you can understand what I mean. So then we have some more weird things. This is from the electricity, obviously, as well, from a little light which was on the ceiling. Then this, I guess, is from this gas pipe as well. And when I found this, I could immediately see something like a clamp. I have to be a little careful because this is cut off with a heavy machine and it's a little bit sharp. So I have to sand this somehow or put something over it so that I can't hurt myself. But this is a really cool piece, I would say. Don't ask me what this is. My landlord found this and said, oh, look at this glossy stone. I don't even know if this is really a stone or what it is. I don't know, but it looks cool, so it had to go with me. Speaking about stone, I found this here and this. This, I mean, we had a ton of these things which came off from the wall, from removing things from the walls, and then all of these little like stones have fallen off. And this here landed directly in front of me. Can you see this little person, which is the body is covered by this stone. But can you see the head here on the top? Looks like she is, yeah, somehow in this stone, and her head is peeking out there. Can you see the eyes there? It's like the eyes are relatively sad and a little bit closed, but the mouth there, it looks like she's smiling, even if she is, yeah, like in prison in this stone. And this is somehow how I feel at the moment. And even if this is just a piece of stone, it has a really big meaning to me, and it, yeah, shows my, yeah, it represents my emotions, because at the moment I feel like this, like, yeah, hold into or in a situation that I don't want to have. I'm a little bit sad and happy at the same time. I'm a bit sad that I have to leave Austria, but that is my decision and I want to go with this decision, of course. I'm happy that I can go back to Germany and back to like a normal apartment instead of living in a caravan or a tiny house. But it's like mixed emotions somehow. And this shows myself. And it is like rough, like here. It is like smooth, like this little area here. It has like stairs that I have to go somehow, like different stages in, yeah, some kind of a way. Here on the top, there's even some sunlight. Can you see that? And if I hold it like this, I can, in this orange color, somehow see an abstract heart. Can you also see that? It's like this shape. So the bottom of the heart is here, and these round things are here and here. I don't know if you can see that. Perhaps it's a little too abstract. I know sometimes I see something and it's hard that you see it as well, because, you know, I have already seen it and I have this emotion with it, and then it's sometimes hard for you. This might be just a stone. Yeah. And I also found this heart here. It also came from the wall, exactly like it is here. I haven't manipulated this with a sandpaper or something. It came from the wall like you can see it here. And this is definitely a heart, isn't it? And it also has these layers and some smooth areas, some really rough areas. And yeah, this is like, yeah, this shows like what my heart feels at the moment. It's a little wonky here and there, and it has all of these different textures emotion-wise somehow. So this is also really bulky, and I'm asking myself if I can include this to my journal or not, or if yes, how, but we will see. I also found something really old. I have to check the word. Harz. Oh, resin. Yes, of course. What else can it be? Resin, of course. This is also really old, and I will not take it out from this plastic bag here, because in the German video, as you can see, there happened an accident, because this is, I thought it is really soft, and some of these pieces are soft, can you see? But when I tried to demonstrate the softness of this in the German video, this broke, and I don't want to risk that the rest breaks as well. But please believe me, this smells really, really well. It is so old, because I also found it in the layers of the floor. And what I want to try with this is, I want to try to make some beads out of this, you know, shape them, and then put some glossy accents around to see if that can then be preserved, you know, over the time, or if something will happen with this. This is just some dirt. It isn't mold. It's just some dirt, some dust on here. And it smells like really, it smells fresh, even if I know that it is old. But I want to try that and make some beads. Speaking about beads, I found this little green guy. Don't ask me where this came from. I have no idea. I will put this in here so that it can't get lost. And then there was a man who made my health insurance thing, and I had to sign some papers. And he was so kind. He has put some post-it notes to those areas where I had to put my signature. And of course, I have saved these. And what else do we have? Then I also found some really old buttons and coins and also needles on the floor in the apartment. There will come an extra video on my channel in the next days or weeks. I have recorded that video already in the new apartment. So that is going to be like the first video from my new craft room. I think it is going to become a really funny video for you because you can imagine it was a mess. I don't have furniture yet in my new craft room. Yeah, so I have filmed this like first video from my new craft room on the construction site. There's nothing in the room, but except myself. Yeah, but I have taken a journal with me with the plan to make some notes about, you know, my money and some to-do lists and so on. So this is the journal you will see in the other video, which is going to come as well. This journal was made by Dani. She is I Feel Crafty 2 on YouTube and also on TikTok. I will link her social media down below. And I have bought this journal from her Etsy shop a while ago. And the plan originally was to take this to make some notes and to document, like, yeah, financial things also. I have made some to-do lists in here so that I can't forget what I have to do. I have also written down some, I can't show you everything because, you know, here are some of my financial information. I have also written down the measurements of my existing furniture so that I could measure the rooms in the new apartment to decide where to put my furniture and so on. That was the reason why I have taken the journal with me to the new apartment. And in the other video, I will also talk about a little more about this journal, and I will also show you a rough flip through this journal so that you can see more of this if you want. So as I said, the video is going to come. I can't tell you exactly when, but it will come soon. And in that video, I made this page here in the journal, really simple, because I wanted to have these needles I found on the floor in the journal. So this is something that I also found. And that means that I will... I really have problems doing that. That I will probably remove this page, the tickets, to remove the tickets, that is not a problem. And to have the needles for my other journal, that is not a problem. I can just take them out. Perhaps I will copy this page so that I don't have to tear it out. I have to decide that, because what I'm trying to say is, originally I haven't planned to use this journal for anything else than making notes. Yeah, I have taken it really like a notebook. I talk about that in the other video as well, if you want to hear more about my thoughts behind that. And then I found the needles, so it happened that I created this page. But now, as you have heard with this video, I want to make a journal about the construction site, about this move, about my new apartment. So this has to be part of the new journal as well somehow. So I have to remove this and put that into the other journal. Don't know how to do that yet, but these needles are so old. And if you watch the other video, you will hear the story where I found those. You won't believe it. It's just incredible. So if you are interested in more information about these old needles, then watch the other video, which is coming soon. Then we have something, and this is something that I found in the very beginning of my time there in the new apartment. I think that was on the first day. This says dicht in German, and that means dense or something like close. Dicht, no. Begriffsstutzig, blöd, beschränkt, überbelichtet. No, that is not the right. Dense is not the right word, but that is funny. Tight or close? Yeah, close. I was not so sure if that translates to close as well, but tight or close. And I don't know for what this was. Perhaps for some kind of a pipe as well to see if it's closed or open. Don't know. But this is a really cool little label, and this writing really cool and intact, and you know, it's a little label. So then I have this. It's also from the electricity. Fuse, perhaps. Show me a picture. Yeah, must be this word, fuse. But a really with vintage one, and I'm even not so 100% sure if that is correct, but I guess. This is bulky, and I don't know yet how I could include this, but again, this writing here could be something nice for a scan or a photo or, you know, a copy or something like that, so that we have something of this in the journal, even if we perhaps can't use this thing by itself. We could even turn it into a cool little bottle or something by painting it. Okay, so then what else do we have? My desk is getting emptier. That is good. Then there was a funny thing. I told you about the stairs where I was like sitting in this little corner and where I found the resin. When I was sitting there to remove the floor, I suddenly found this giant bag. There were some little wooden pieces, and obviously the people who built the house haven't had enough of those wooden pieces, and they used this instead. This is really sturdy, and it is really cool, and it has really cool writing on here. And when I found this, I screamed a little bit, and then my landlord came and said, "What is that?" And I said, "That is the cover for my journal. I just found the cover for my journal," because look, this is a really sturdy material, and it's definitely worth to think about making a cover out of this. But then I found something else which could also be a great cover, and that is this plastic gift bag here, also from the birthday of my landlord. And he has gotten some gifts, and one of the gifts was in here. And when I saw the bag, I immediately thought, great cover, plastic, nice pattern, green, a little green, but green. The only thing that kills my nerves is this. Look, because if this was the cover, then obviously this would be the front cover, and this the back, or the other way round, and then this would be the spine, and we have this fold here. And if the spine would make something like this, that would be not so good, but perhaps we can solve that, and to make it, you know, sturdier. And I don't know if this is the right width for a spine, but what I'm trying to say is this video is also made for inspiring you. Yeah, so if you find something like this, this could be a great cover. And then I have some wrapping paper. I saved this from the trash can. You can see a person who has no idea what junk journaling is has already, you know, crumpled it and wanted to throw it away. And I was like, stop it, I want to have this. So we have these cool roses here, some plastic wrapping paper as well, and these guys. When I saw them, I thought, I mean, my landlord is a man. Why the heck? I mean, why the heck? Pink. why not black or brown or some kind of neutral color? I don't know how to use this yet, but I want to use this because, you know, it's part of the whole thing and the whole story. And then that is the last thing I want to show you in this video. I have these tickets here, and as you can see, they are still intact, so they haven't been used. This was for a concert of a German singer and songwriter. His name is Florian Künstler. If you like German music, or yeah, if you like to listen to it, even if you can't understand it, or perhaps you can understand German, and if you don't know him yet, please write this name into YouTube search bar and search for him. He's just so genius, especially when you can understand German. Listen to his lyrics. In my eyes, he is just genius. He has so wonderful lyrics, and the music is just great. And I bought both of these tickets because I wanted to go on May 1st to this concert, but then we had so much to do that I couldn't manage to go there, and that we decided that we want to spend the time on the construction site to get the work done. And yeah, it was a really hard decision, but why am I showing you this, and why have I saved these? I mean, this is the price in euro, and I have 2 of these. This is a really expensive ephemera for a junk journal. Of course, obviously, I could have tried to sell these before the concert. Yeah, I could have tried to put that to, you know, an online platform to sell them. But I decided that I want to have these in my journal as a reminder that I one day want to go to one of his concerts. And if it didn't happen now and within this time, then it will happen, yeah, in another year when he makes another tour or so, then I can go there. And perhaps you wonder why I couldn't plan this. So let me quickly explain that, because otherwise you think I'm crazy. I bought these a long time ago, before I even knew that I will get this apartment and that I will move. Yeah, so the plan was totally different. I bought them with the plan to go there, and there would have been no problem. But then there came this apartment and the chance to get this apartment, and it was like, you know, the same time period like the concert and the renovation, you know what I mean. So I think tickets are also a great thing for junk journaling, of course, and for putting into a journal. And I think even if these things are like somehow a sad memory, put them into a journal, because you can learn from those experiences, and you can also take sad memories and turn them into something positive in the future. And that is why I want to use these. So what is going to happen next? I have no idea. I have a rough idea. So I will take these things. So this is not all. The rest is laying around me here. And I will take these things and I will try to make a journal, as I told you in the beginning. And I also want to try to make some digital things for you, so that I can share some of these things with you. Perhaps there's something that you have seen that is interesting, so that you can have, yeah, that you can't have the original piece, but a print. And if you want to craft along with me, I know that is hard, because you will probably not have the same materials on your desk like I have here, but I'm sure you can find some unusual things in your trash can or laying around you in your home that you could use to make a journal. And you can follow this series and take my ideas and transfer them to your own journal, even if you have other materials. I think that is possible, to just take the ideas and, you know, make them into your own with your own materials. If you want to do that, you have now 1 week time for searching for materials. So that sounds like a really bad deadline, but why am I saying that? Because I have another video for you on Sunday. I think today for you it's Tuesday. I'm hoping that that is right with my schedule. So the next video of this journal here will come in a week. and there will be one video in between on Sunday where I show you something else. I have already recorded that video a long time ago, so that I had some content for you. So you will see that. And then in the next video, next week, we are going to continue with this so that you have the chance to collect some things for your own journal as well. Yeah, so I think that's it. And I hope that you enjoyed this little journey through my little box of trash here. And I'm really hoping that you can get some ideas from some unusual things you could use in a journal. And of course, I'm hoping that you will join my journey of making this special journal. And I wish you a very great and creative day, of course. See you the next time. Bye bye.